Hey mate, did you hear about that rumour about beer karma?
Beer karma?
You drink one of these and a Victorian cops one.
Oh, really?
They did claim to invent the footy.
And welcome once again, Rooters, to another week of Grassroots Online Finals Edition. It's a show by, for and about the South Australian Football League. Now, I have brought in the big guns tonight to celebrate medal night here at Adelaide Airport Stadium. And with me, I would like to welcome to the show for the first time this year our beloved president, Mr. Gino Capagreco, and on my right, a fairly well-known bloke around the traps, especially in the northern suburbs there, Mr. Ryan Paget.
Thanks, Lisa.
Yeah, no worries. Okay.
Good evening, Lisa. Good evening, Ryan.
Thank you.
You too, Gino.
Well, we've got a heap to get through tonight, so let's get straight into it. Now, of course, Div 1, round 18 was completed last week, so they'll be starting finals mode, of course, this weekend. Quickly reading out the scores, guys, buddy, wherever you need to. So, Foss ended the year with a win over Broadies by 5 points.
Just on that one, Foss was probably not expected to win that, but they needed to avoid relegation with that win, and they've certainly done that quite well. And I think Broadies would be reasonably disappointed in not having a win in the last game of the year. No,
and unfortunately that's probably been a bit of a sign for Broadview most of the year, just having those close losses as well, which has stopped them from making finals. Rocks had a good win. Unfortunately, it didn't do them any good, defeating Henley 8-9-57 to Henley 6-9-45.
Yes, that was a tremendous win by Rocks, and again they've had a couple of close losses during the year, and it's a pity that they hadn't won a couple more of those, and to knock off Henley, that certainly has been the standout side within Div 1 this year, and we're probably favourites to win the flag, but you start to wonder now at the business end, have they perhaps peaked too early?
Well, actually, this is the thing that, and I, for the last X amount of years, Goodwood has always dropped the last game of the year when they've won the flag. So maybe Henley are trying the same thing.
Well, Henley lost the previous week as well, so...
Okay, moving right along. Speaking of Goodwood 12-18-90, belted Spock 4-10-34. I guess a surprise in terms of probably not expecting Spock to lose by so much. It just shows that Goodwood are really coming to town now.
Yes, and again, interested with Spock that at the start of the year they played most of their games away, and everyone thought they had a dream run in playing most of their games at home in the second part of the year. And unfortunately they've had 3 or 4 losses, again unexpected, and they were sitting second and quite easy, but now, yes, a couple of strong losses maybe caused them some concern.
Gazer cemented 5th spot and unfortunately sent Jets Cross packing back down to Div 2 with a massive win, 20 goals 8, 128, defeating Jets Cross 3-4-22.
Certainly, I did see that game, and it was played up on the junior oval at Greenacres, and anyone could kick a goal from centre, and after seeing that, I don't think we'll ever try that again, playing Div 1 games on junior grounds.
And lastly, Salisbury North 13-17 defeated Shock 13-10-88. Look, a close loss, but probably indicative, unfortunately, of the year that Shock have had compared to last year. Yes,
unfortunately for Shock, though, I've always got a soft spot for them in the way they've played their game, and they again lost a number of games quite close. They did lose 20-odd players at the start of the year, and consequently they knew they were in for a tough year. And look, they'll drop down to Div 2 and no doubt consolidate themselves back down there, and then won't be long they'll be back up in Div 1.
Absolutely. So of course next week Henley have the week off. Next week Spock and Goodwood, and I don't know if the games have been confirmed yet, have they? No, not sure.
Just been tonight, we'll know for sure.
No worries. So
where they've been played.
Spock versus Goodwood and Salisbury North versus Gazer this week. What do you reckon about those games?
Look, you have to probably go Goodwood after the way they took care of Spock last week, even if it is at Cater. And I'm going to go Gazer against Salisbury North. I can't. Being a Salisbury bloke, I can't pick Salisbury North.
And what about yourself?
I'd definitely go for Goodwood, because Trent Mills has always got that club and that team at the business end of the year doing it right. Certainly the Gazer Salisbury North one is interesting. I'd probably have to go Salisbury North, because it's played at Salisbury North, and again I know Eugene that he'd be keen to move past at least 4th spot. So, yeah, and Gazer actually struggled a bit early. Certainly they've come home well. But no, I'll pick Salisbury North on the home ground advantage.
No, fair enough. Division 2, and then there were 4 in all the divisions below this. So unfortunately, Flinders Park ended the year in 5th spot, with Portland defeating them 6-7-43 to 4-7-31. And in the qualifying, Adelaide Uni 12-21 defeated Port District 6-9-45. It's actually funny with the conditions that we had on the weekend, that some of the scores were big and fantastic, yet some were small and obviously very, very inaccurate, like Adelaide Uni.
Yeah.
How do you, Fazer, said? I mean, I found Adelaide Lutheran even just sort of running water through the parklands was hard. But I mean, how hard is it actually playing 80 minutes of football?
I was at Payneham. Obviously, our reserves played at Payneham, and I was doing the running. And in my shoes, it was unbelievably difficult. I don't think boots would have made much of a difference for anybody. And I could see when obviously Payneham played the main game, they were just coming up, and they were very inaccurate as well. And it was very, very hard to kick a footy probably over 30 metres there, and I'm sure it was the same.
Yeah, in a lot of places.
It was probably our wettest Saturday. Well, it certainly was our wettest Saturday that I can recall this year, and for a long time, because pretty well most of the A grade games, I think it pretty well drizzled or rained through most of those games.
Yeah, well, sure did ours. Anyway, moving on to Div 3, we had Mitcham said goodbye to the finals race on the weekend, losing to Payneham Norwood Union 9-18-72 to 5-8-38. And in the qualifying, Kilburn won their millionth game in a row, 14-14, defeating Seaton 12-10. Had you saw the PMU Mitcham game?
Yeah, I saw the first half of the A grade anyway, and it was Payneham kicked the first 4 and started really, really well, and Mitcham worked their way back into it by half time, but you always sense that Payneham probably had a little bit more in the tank. I think the conditions suited Mitcham a bit better. Payneham are a lot smaller and probably quicker, but obviously they managed to get over it in the end. But Mitcham had a fairly good year. I think a lot of people didn't expect them to make the finals, losing a few blokes down to the Great Southern League, but they did really well to make the finals, and they should be pretty happy with their season. And Kilburn, I think everyone probably expected Kilburn to win.
Yes.
The conditions probably favoured Seaton, and then they're probably a bit bigger bodied side. Yep. But Kilburn, I think, are probably the stick and just keep finding a way to win when they need to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well coached by Jamie Thomas, Kilburn, and he certainly hasn't had it easy out there this year, and it's good to see. And well done to Kilburn to win that game, and again, Payneham being a smaller side, and again, Gary McIntosh is a very good coach, and he's done well with Payneham, so that's great to see.
Excellent. Division 4, Golden Grove said goodbye to the finals race. Losing, and Pulteney have had the stick on them all year. Pulteney 14-4, and that's that example of accurate cricking, but not a real good ground, because Golden Grove can be boggy at the best of times. Defeating Golden Grove 11-6, while in the qualifying, Scotch 9-13 defeated Salisbury West 1-4-10.
Yeah.
Now that
was a shock. That's a shock.
I think that was a shock to everyone. Now I'm not quite sure what's happening down there, but look, the Salisbury West I know, never go down like that in a final. They give to the end.
Yeah, it's interesting though. Salisbury West obviously have a lot of kids, and on that sort of oval at Scotch, I can't imagine there was a lot of grass on it, and I'm not sure how big their bodies probably would have been. And I wasn't surprised that Scotch won. Obviously, you're surprised that Salisbury West only kicked the one goal.
Yeah, more so.
I'm not surprised that Scotch won by what they did. I'm sure they've got a lot of bigger bodies and a lot of stronger bodies over the footy. Will Thorpe and Tupenny and these sort of blokes are really strong over the footy. So I'm not surprised that Scotch won by that sort of margin. But you'd definitely expect Salisbury West to kick more.
Yeah, I must admit, I picked up the Sunday Mail and saw that score and was quite surprised. And I wondered if it was
wrong. So did I. Yeah.
A mystery, but yeah, no, Salisbury West are normally pretty good in finals, and that one is a bit of a surprise.
Absolutely. Moving on to Div 5, look, both teams have played each other 2 weeks in a row, and both of them for different outcomes as well. So we say goodbye to Glenunga, who were defeated by Kenilworth 11-4-70 to Glenunga 9-9-63, and in the qualifying final, very happy to report that over all the odds and the weather gods favoured us. Hope Valley 7-6-48 defeated Luthi 6-10-46.
Straight kicking helped.
Well, again, I think it's like the second time this year that we've actually kicked more goals and points, so that certainly does help. But look, we were lucky to get off to a good start. I think we kicked 3 goals to zip in the first, and we just went on from there. As I said, it was just a slog of a game. There was probably not a lot of momentum to it, but we were lucky just to keep that sort of 1 or 2 goal lead throughout. We got a bit worried in the last quarter when the rain stopped and the sun tried to come out, but we managed to hang on, and Charlie was very, very happy, man, as you can imagine. So this week we head over to Brahma Lodge, which will be a fantastic game. We're probably better suited in terms of matchup wise to Brahma Lodge, so it'll be a fantastic game while Luthies are playing at Kilburn against Kenilworth. So that should also be a good game too. I think the bigger oval might actually even suit Kenilworth a bit more, to tell you the truth. But again, as I said, conditions at the end of the day probably take a lot to account, don't they?
They'll be a lot better this coming weekend. And,
Yeah.
we've had a bit of a dry week leading up, and a couple of showers won't hurt us, and all the ovals will be much better this coming weekend.
Div 6, we say goodbye to Blackfriars, I think for the second year in a row, out of the elimination final. Lockleys, who again, I'll keep saying it every week, my shoe-in, or my roughie for the flag, 8-16, 64 defeated Blackfriars, 8-10, 58. Nice close game, while in the qualifying final, Trinity Old Scholars defeated Mawson Lakes, and probably not a lot of people were expecting that.
No.
I actually tipped Trinity just for the fact that it was out at Trinity, the home ground advantage. But yeah, Mawson Lakes will have some work to do now.
Yeah, I'm real pleased to see Trinity win that and move straight through to the grand final. And second, and well deserved. And it's good to see that.
Yeah, and of course, yeah.
You have to be happy with Trinity. I think they've been around Div 6 for so long, made finals, and they probably just found an extra gear this year and probably deserve to. Or I suppose the one more game they deserve to go up, but they've worked really, really hard, and I know a few blokes out there who have worked tremendously hard for a few years to get where they've got to give themselves this opportunity. So credit to them, they definitely deserve their chance this week. Absolutely.
And finally, North Pines, while they fought hard, unfortunately couldn't get over Anglevale. 9-14-68 defeated the Spiders 7-9-51. While in the qualifying final, probably expected, I think Teatree Gully 17-13 defeated Henley 10-8-6-8, and that of course being the battle of the C and D grade sides for those two. So Teatree Gully meet Mitchell Park at Mitchell Park this week, while Anglevale will head down to Henley. Yes.
Long trip for them, but hopefully they do well.
Absolutely. Now, just very quickly before we go, as you know, coming up next, we've got all the action live coming from the Div 3 to 7 and C grade sides association medal count. Let's just very quickly, because I think we're running out of time, go through all the grades and see if we can possibly pick some winners out of this lot. Paige, we'll start with Div 3, being your particular division.
Div 3 is my league, but I think a lot of people in Div 3 thought that Charlie Monway from Kilburn was going to win it, and I was of that view. He probably a standout during the year, but apparently he hasn't been. So I think Justin Sheedy from Athelston will poll really well, especially early in the year. He probably had a little bit quieter towards the end, but his first half of the year was sensational. I think if he can get a few best on grounds probably in the first half, that he should have enough by probably around 12 that he probably will be able to hold on and win. I think maybe Paul Marshall from Seaton's had a really consistent year too, so they'd probably be the two.
Being six.
I would probably pick Nick Pearce from Kilburn outside of those. Again, not a great amount of knowledge from myself in that area, but certainly I haven't seen Nick play. He certainly is a very good stand-up footballer in that side.
No one tipping Whelan to go back to back?
No.
No, okay, no, fair enough.
No offence to Maddie. But
No. Okay, let's move on to Division 4, where you've probably got a bit more knowledge than the rest of us there.
It's interesting. A lot of people say that Ian Perry's a good chance because he's rucked most of the year, which is obviously I didn't see much footy there this year, but he obviously stands out in that side. And wouldn't be surprised if he gets a few. Todd Shepherd at Golden Grove stands out as well. With the hair, and he's a very, very good footballer. But look, Dan Cahill was one who obviously won the medal last year, and he's an extremely good footballer. And not many forwards tend to win these medals, but he stands out across half forward. So it would not surprise me if he went close again. Yeah, the umpires seem to certainly like him, don't they? Historically, too, again, Salisbury West tend to poll very well in association medals. I mean, Dean still last year, and also won an underage medal a couple of years before that. But you know, would you tip him to poll very well as well? You'll poll all right, but obviously Scott Burnett came back from Port Adelaide Magpies towards the end of the year too, and I think from what I've heard, he'll get a few for the second half of the season. So whether they've got enough each to win one, they might not. They might, I suppose, rob each other a little bit of some votes.
Well, I'll probably tip Carl out of the Scotch, probably from Cheddle from Unleague Jets.
Yeah, I mean, look, Unleague just being so on top of things this year probably will take votes away from each other. I hate voting for favourites, but I mean, just from what I hear from speaking to other people, it would be very hard to go past Sarge.
Yeah.
And I don't know, yeah, as much as you like to see people go back to back because it obviously rewards, you know, the way they played over the last couple of years, you know, I would still stick Kale in there as a roughie to go back to back as well. Division 5. Oh, this might be me. Okay. Look, a few standouts this year, and probably from Hope Valley, I would really love Shane Haggerson to win it. Dougie will obviously, Lee Duggan will obviously poll very well, but Haggis is just rucked and quite often sometimes by himself for a whole game. So I really hope his efforts are rewarded with some votes by the umpires. From Brahma Lodge, I actually like Timmy Aloisi.
Yeah, like Timmy?
Yeah, look, Timmy's always in front of the umpires, and look, you just see him kick bags and bags like week after week. So
Timmy's a very good footballer, and obviously Jared Clark Rentaza's involved as well, and I've played a bit with him and against him. He was at Jeps Cross, and he is a sensational footballer. He breaks lines, runs and carries, he's got beautiful skills, and I won't be surprised if he wins it. I haven't seen any Div 5 footy this year, obviously, but he is a class act, and it would not surprise me if he walks away with it.
Well, obviously, I've seen him a few times, but as I said, I still think Timmy stands out for me more than Jared. Again, as I said, I still think Haggis will win it. I reckon Robbie Meagle from Adelaide Lutheran will also poll very well as well, because the guy's just a freak.
Yeah, well, they were my two, Tim Aloisi and Rowan Meagle from Adelaide Lutheran.
Yep.
And having seen Tim play, I tend to agree that he's, well, certainly my favourite anyway on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, very quickly over to Division 6. Any thoughts, guys, on who might get some choice?
Adelaide Uni, Angus Reid jumps out at me. Is probably one, and yeah, I'm struggling after that.
I think Robert Gorman from Mawson Lakes, everyone likes to give him a bit, but he's obviously a class act footballer. He wouldn't cop as much attention as he does if he wasn't a very good player, and obviously Jeff Riddle rates him very highly, so I think he'd be alright. And what's the other one? Is it Brincat from Mawson Lakes, or from Blackfriars?
Blackfriars,
yep. I've heard a whisper that he might go alright too.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen a lot of good work, not seen a lot of good work, but heard about a lot of good work by from Timmy Evans from Colonel Light Gardens.
Yep.
Again, as I said, obviously given the up and down, well, they had a good second half of the season at least anyway. But to make it where they did, and unfortunate not to make finals. Again, you know, I'm just going to go with my Lockleys roughie here, and I mean, you know, I've seen Lockleys play obviously in years before this, but Harry High Pants Giorgio, and you know, I don't mind the way he plays, and the umpires tend to like him as well.
The other one for me would be Nathan Rayner from Woodville South. I'm not sure if he's played enough games. He is obviously come from playing league and reserves footy, and I played against him a few years ago. Woodville South were up in Div 3 as a younger bloke, and he was a very good footballer then. So I understand he missed a few games, but you think if he has a good game, it's probably a 3-vote game.
Yeah, I'm just thinking he did have a few ankle problems earlier in the year, so he may just miss out. The other one maybe keep an eye on might be now Adrian Zorich from Trinity there as well. So yet to see how we go there. Okay, finally Division 7. Look, probably a couple of standouts here for mine. And we've said before, this really isn't a forwards medal, but you can't really go past that Donald Canyon from Mitchell Park, especially being the league leading goalkeeper as well.
Yeah, it certainly will attract some attention, and so I mean it'd be interesting to see how CJ Cook goes playing Div 7 in Flinders Park. So, and he should catch the eye, especially with the name. But anyway, interesting to see.
The question with Mitchell Park too is how much they've been so dominant all year. How much will they take votes off each other? And obviously Harrison and Jared Dation, these sort of guys will probably get some votes as well. It'll be interesting to see that they've been so dominant, whether Nat McDonald gets all the votes or whether his brother takes them off him, and whether the rest of them, all who have had really good years, tend to share it, or whether one of them will get majority. It'll be interesting to see.
No, fair call. Just noting a couple of standouts from Tea Tree Gully, and gee, they're synonymous names with the club. One being Glenn Mount, and one being formal medal winner Peter Uncle, the man from Uncle. But I don't know, a lot of the talk's going on Clint Dow, so I reckon I'll pick Clint to take the medal on that one.
Yeah, I still think it'll come from Mitchell Park. It wouldn't surprise me if Nat McDonald does win it, but it'll be interesting to see how many of the others take votes. But you think in a lot of games they get all 6, which should help their case.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much for your input today. It's good to have the experts in to give us the hot tips. What we'll do now is we'll go to a break and come back with all the action live from South Australian Amateur League medal count.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Ryan.
Div 7 Association medal count, make as much fun as possible. We're going to interview the A-grade winners, and probably you'd be familiar with Lisa, who's floating around covering Grassroots, so this is going to be a Grassroots episode, so please represent your clubs with pride. And most importantly, have a great time, and we're sponsored by the great people at West End. I've never tried it myself, but it is available up there, and we encourage responsible drinking. Also, thanks to Villies, Adelaide Airport, and the Army Reserve for all your sponsorship, and we're going to get straight into the voting. The voting will start at round 12, so we're not going to be sitting through 18 rounds of votes. And I wish everyone the best of luck, except other footballers in C4. Thanks very much, and have a great night. Applaud.
Sam Fairclough will win it. I reckon it'll be Mountie from Teacher Gully will win it.
Michael Lane from Smithfield Football Club.
I'm going to player. How about that one there for you? At least I'll go
And it's
player.
tight. Going into the final round, it's
I really don't
Henry
know.
and Jack O'Neill.
Jamie.
Jacko.
I think Matt Emu Brincat is right here next to me. He's had a bit of an interrupted season, so he might go close, but maybe not quite there. Fulkvo from the Hounds, who's not here tonight, can't make it unfortunately, but I think he played nearly every game, just absolute model of consistency.
It's a tough one, but it'll be either Rainer or Clifford.
I think it's between 3. O'Gorman, Harry Giorgio from Lockleys, and Emmett Wood from Colonel. Our boy Harry Giorgio, by a mile. He'll smash it in.
In a nice loud voice, who do you think will win the Division 6 medal?
Well, the bloke I thought would win it didn't even finish in the top 12, so I just hope it's not O'Gorman.
28 votes. James Forward. And at this time, I'll actually ask, we're only going to interview 3 or 4 medal winners tonight, and I've never won a medal, so I'd actually like to hear what this guy's got to say. So if someone around you's talking, perhaps you could tell him to shut up. James, just come on over, let's get the sponsors in the background. How does it feel to win the Burt medal, mate?
It's a very humbling feeling. I'm very proud.
Now, Kim Hillard says he's the secret behind your success. Is there any truth to that?
Well, he's a reserves coach, so didn't want to do with Scotty Matthews, I'd say. Sorry, Kimbo.
Speaking of Scotty, I'm going to hand the mic over to you now. There must be not just Scott, but a lot of people you'd like to thank.
Yeah, just firstly, thank you to the league. Yeah, it's a great association that provides a lot of blokes with a chance to play footy. You know, family, the club particularly. Didn't play last year, so they made me feel very welcome. So yeah, thanks.
And before you go, mate, I believe this week, could be wrong, you've got a very big game. Is it a second semi-final?
Prelim, well, yeah, the women were in the grand final, so.
Prelim.
Second semi.
Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Right. Do you know who you're playing?
Woody South.
Woody South, who were the benchmark for the year. It must be a very exciting time. As great as the medal is, the finals football is what it's all about, isn't it?
It's definitely about finals, and it's all about we had knocked them off, and we expect a very strong performance, and we're not here to muck around.
Probably the Clark boy that plays in the middle from Brummer Lodge, I'd say. I don't know his first name.
Not yourself?
Nah, not myself. Not this year.
Who's going to win? Probably someone from Leuven or someone from Brahma. Probably 23 for Leuven would be a chance. Maybe Clark from Brahma Lodge, I reckon.
Clarkie.
From Brahma Lodge?
Yep, Jared.
From anyone else?
Gotta go to Sean Bus as well. Your man again. Young lead, yeah. I love that man anyway. But no, I think Clarkie.
Don't rate yourself?
Don't get noticed.
I've heard Lee Duggan will give it a fair crack.
Very modest, this man. Young Tom Cowald, I reckon.
So the winner with 22 votes from the Hope Valley Football Club, the rover, Shane Haggerstone. Shane, how do you feel?
Pretty proud. Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys. It's awesome. I don't really know what to say, but yeah, thanks a lot to the league and to my club, all the blokes I played with, my coach Charlie Ritzel, my skipper Lee Duggan, all the other boys that came out to support us tonight. Thanks a lot.
Before we go, I've got a few more questions I'd like to ask you, mate, because you seem surprised. Are you surprised you won it all?
Yeah, it was my first one, so don't know what to say really. But yeah, surprised.
Always, and nice little cherry on top for you as well. Second semi-final this week against the Brahma Lodge boys.
Yeah, bring it on.
I think that says it all. Well done, congratulations, mate. Enjoy the night. Probably at the top of the fight.
Heath Deere from Picton. And what?
And from who?
From who? From Perry, yeah, Perry. What did he say before? Sarge, yeah. It's got to be.
So, who'll win the Div 4 medal?
Scott Burnett.
This is Scott Bennett.
Yeah, me.
Oh, hello. No. I've never met Scott before. Hello, Scott. Dean, can you go back to back, buddy?
Nah, been a bit quiet this year, I reckon.
No? So, who's your tip? Scotty as well?
Yeah, Scotty or Todd Shepherd.
From who? Oh, from Golden Grove?
Yeah.
Yep, beautiful.
Probably Josh Glenn or Trent Greenshields from Elizabeth.
Todd Shepherd. Todd Shepherd. There we go.
Okay. 39 votes. How good a year have you had?
I mean, you're not setting out to win any of these awards, but it's just been good to be on the track for the full year. Last year I had an injury and didn't get to spend that much time on the field. This year stayed injury free and was able to string a few games together and play some good footy with a good team, so pretty happy with that.
Did Ryan move you in the ruck this year?
Yeah, we lacked a few tools to play that roaming role in the ruck, and Ryan's put me in there, and we've got a couple other forwards there that can take that centre forward, full forward role, and that's the way it worked out, and it's freed me up to move around the ground a bit and take a few catches.
Beautifully done, mate. I'll hand over to you now, and you can thank whoever you'd like to thank.
I suppose you thank SAAFL for putting on such a good comp, and all the other teams for making the comp what it is, and all the volunteers and that show up each week to do what they can to help the club's function. Thanks.
And just one more, mate. You're still in the finals mix. Salisbury West this week at Salisbury Downs Oval. Must be pretty excited, and a bit of a smoky to perhaps pull off an upset.
Yeah, well, you can't take Salisbury West lightly. They've beaten us the last couple of times we've played them and beaten them, and they've got a great game style. So I think it's going to be good weather, so it's going to suit those guys, and good luck to them. But hopefully we can pull off the win.
All right, all the best. Congratulations.
Hello, how you going?
Any chance to go back to back?
Don't know. I'm here.
Land a few words.
Yeah, very few.
Who is your tip for the Div 3 medal?
Charlie Molyneux, but he's not here. Didn't get invited. So we're disappointed about that.
Who else?
Nick Pearce.
No?
No chance. Charlie. Has to be Charlie. Or Andrew Graham.
Don't know. Someone from maybe Sheedy or maybe Marshall from Seaton, I'd say. Go pretty close.
I'm hoping Paul Marshall from Seaton Ramblers wins it, but yeah, it just depends on, I guess, one of the boys from Kilburn.
Who do you think will win the Div 3 medal?
Justin Sheedy.
Corey Preslow with about 21 votes, I reckon will win it.
Sheedy.
I was going to say Sheedy. You can't steal that. Probably Sheeds from Athelston, I reckon. They seem pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard that. Sheedy's from Athelston. Paul Marshall. It looks like he's 18 again.
First Div 3 medal since 1977 for Kilburn. Did you know that? Me neither. All right, mate. Corey, it's been a come right in. See, we've got the beautiful backdrop. Yeah. Hey, how do you feel, mate?
Yeah, pretty happy. You know, probably didn't expect it coming tonight with guns put in our side. I wouldn't have expected it. So
now, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention this, but you got stripped of all your games in round 5, and your club was 0-5, and it's probably had a bit of a galvanising effect. We've mentioned it on Grassroots. Just a lazy 14 in a row. How are you going to go this week against Smosh?
we'll just keep doing what we're doing. We'll go over our game plan, go out there, come up against them and see what we've got. So it's 14 in a row don't count if you don't win 16. So.
Absolutely. Now, before I get you to thank all the people you want to thank, I'm just going to ask you, I had a chance to look at you guys this year and some of the phenomenal talent going around you. Obviously, you're the medal winner, so you're the best, but the big man, Nick Pearce, Charlie Molyneux, Mark McCallum, three of the best amateur footballers I've seen play. It must be great to have them in your team.
Yeah, it's absolutely awesome. Every week they get tagged or they run around. You know, we can just sit back and do what we want to do. There's basically across the board. You know, you got Braxton, Wheelow, blokes like that just make our life easier and we play good together. So.
Now, early in the year when we were down there for Grassroots, you said the soup had something to do with it. Do you reckon the soup really had something to do with it?
Yeah, maybe not Tuesday though. Tuesday wasn't so good, but we get a guy that cooks the soup every Tuesday. On those cold nights, it really gets us through it, so it's good.
Anyways, mate, I'm going to hand the mic over to you now, and if there's anyone you want to thank at this stage, it's all yours.
Just like to thank Jamie Thomas and the coaching staff from Kilburn Footy Club, and basically all the boys around the club, you know. To win these sort of medals, you don't expect it, but you take them. But at the end of the day, it's the grand finals that you really want. So we'll stick together and go from there.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Div 3 McCain medalist, Corey Pressler. Welcome back, Rooters, and what a sensational night at the Div 3 to Div 7 medal count. Of course, there were some reserves medals and some C-grade medals thrown in there as well. And as I stood on the stage and I scanned the sea of fresh faces, I thought, I need two experts for the final episode, for the final segment, sorry. Couldn't find them, but I'll tell you who I did find. A man who's got finals action this weekend, coach of Mawson Lakes, the man, the myth, Jeff Riddle.
How you going? How are you, Rooters?
Straight sets. Great to have you here, Jeff. And a man who didn't make finals despite his team going 10-8, despite them winning 9 of their last 11, and despite many other factors, Sean Dutchy Holland.
Our last 7 in a row at home.
No, it's nice and loud, Sean. For the
we don't deserve to be there. We didn't win our games early, so we don't deserve to be there.
No worries. Now, let's talk about the medal winners, guys. We'll start with Division 7. Who can tell me who the Division 7 medalist was?
Clint Dow.
It wasn't
from Clint Dow. Probably deserved.
Yeah, quality ruckman.
Yep.
Really good ruckman. Best in Div 7 by a mile. Come from Mountain last year, I think, didn't he?
He did, but Jeff picked Glenn Mont to win it. So.
Glenn Mount?
Mount, yeah. Same dude.
I believe I picked Glenn Mount as well. Who did you pick?
David Creek. he finished sixth.
Okay, not a bad effort. So well done to Dowie. We just see how his index goes from here, whether his stock rises or not. Okay, in Division 6.
That is terrible.
I'm not working finance. Thanks, thank you. I've got no money, so it's a bit of a unique phenomenon. All right, look at the light emanating from Jeff Riddle's head. It's like a Christmas tree. Don't. Okay, Division 6 is your expert area, gentlemen. A Division 6 medal winner was?
Jamie Forward from Trinity. Number 29, he's known around the league.
Yep.
The reason he says number 29 is because this year Mawson Lakes played everyone after we did at Central United, and he said to me in round 13 or whatever it was when we played him, who should we stop from Trinity? I said 29. I don't know who he is. I have no idea.
He's the man with no name, but
he's James Forward, and he is the Div 6 medal winner.
He killed us. He killed us. I was surprised. To be totally honest, I was surprised. I thought my pick didn't finish top 10 or 12, but I thought it was
your tip was Bartolotti.
Bartolotti from Blackfriars. I thought he was the 2 games we played against us was very good. Skews from Woody South, I thought was going to be, and obviously having contact with the other coaches, I thought Skews was going to be very good. I was really surprised that no Woody South player finished top 10.
Perhaps stealing votes. Yeah, talk about your boys, mate, because you had some. Robbie O'Gorman was in the
mix. Just stop it.
Yeah, well, if I'm going to be serious for a while, O'Gorman, he came 3rd on 15. I actually thought he'd poll a bit more. I thought the winner would come out of him Emmett Wood from Colonel Light or Harry Giorgio. I think Giorgio comes second on 17, but Forward won by about 8 or 9 votes, which was a bit surprising.
Yeah, fantastic.
The only reason he picked O'Gorman is because he tucks him in at night.
Okay.
O'Gorman was not in the top 10 players in the competition.
Okay, well, that's your opinion, Sean. Of course, he did win the medal last year.
Right, and it's right.
And by him not winning this year, I've won a carton of sponsors products, so I'm happy with that. But we move on to Division 5, where the Footy Chicks' very own ruckman, Haggerstrom, is it?
Is that ex-Jeps Cross Haggerstrom? Yeah.
Haggis.
Yep. Again, another ruckman. Div 7 ruckman won Div 7, and Div 5 ruckman wins Div 5. Is he deserving? Yes.
After, of course,
a lot of nodding of heads.
Lee Duggan winning last year, he was actually quite emotional. I felt it was a touching
Where
speech.
did Duggan finish?
By 5th, I believe 5th. Okay. By all accounts, Haggis was a deserving winner. I'm good friends with Kerry Payne, the A-grade coach of Brahma Lodge.
Just nice name drop there.
No, he was. We've been friends for 1,000 years. I lived with the man for a little while. I've seen some of his antics that I can't mention on here.
Was he married at the time?
No, okay. But I will mention that Jared Clark from...
Well, that was our tip, wasn't it?
It was a big tip. He was my absolute favourite. Where'd he come? 4th or 5th?
Yeah, at least 14 votes.
Something like that. But Kerry did express to me that he thought Haggis was the pick.
Now, I actually tipped the Div 4 medalist. I certainly did tip he'd get 39 votes, though. Ian Perry.
39. Is there a game he didn't poll in?
No, he seemed to get 13 best on grounds, or certainly something like a lot of best on grounds.
And they're telling he's playing in the ruck these days, kicking on play, not at centre forward, so stands out under the umpire's nose, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess I guess if he's as good as, it's a fantastic season. You can't take anything away from the man, but maybe you've got to rate Poultney a chance this weekend. Salisbury West only kicked a goal.
If you listen to the Monday night show, I've been rating them all year.
You weren't there,
but for some reason. Okay, not Monday night, but I've been rating them all year, and. They got the
Jeff.
Seriously, on paper they got a very good team. Very good team.
Okay, I was there for the Monday night show, and I don't rate Poultney. It's not so much that I don't rate them, and it's easy to pick Ian Perry to win the medal. You've got to be good to win a medal by vote. If you get over 30 votes and win a medal, you've got to be a good player. I don't know many that have, but if you have done it, you are a very good player. But anyway, one
2008, Sean Holland, 32 votes. Are we happy now?
Correct.
Okay.
I just wanted to mention that I believe if the weather's fine on Saturday, but on a serious note, I think Salisbury West will absolutely run Poultney off their legs. Yeah. They played twice this year. Salisbury West won both encounters. They stopped Perry and done the job. Yeah. They're such a good... Scotty Burnett, who finished runner-up to Ian Perry tonight, he got 24 votes from memory. He only played 11 games. He played 11 games. He's a fantastic footballer. Such a young kid. Played all his juniors at Salisbury West. Salisbury West play each week with minus points, and that I'm a junior life member of Salisbury West. Have been for obviously a long time, and I really rate them. But I actually think Scotch are going to win the flag.
No one will get near Jets.
But you don't know anything, so.
And last but not least, the Division 3 medal, all the talk before the votes were released were Charlie Molyneux, his medal, absolute certain. And then when the votes were released, it was, I thought Nick Pearce would have to be a big show, and he was. He went very close.
Guy in a back pocket.
Yeah,
Gavin Wanganeen.
Yeah, Presler? It was Corey Presler from Kilburn. Is he their captain?
Yes, correct.
He is their captain. I mean, perhaps that may have helped influence, but so many good players: McCallum, Flex Brackstone, Molyneux, Pearce, I had to feel for Paynham's Nick Reid on 18 votes going into the last round, rested. You might remember.
So how much did Presler win by?
3 votes. So and he would have been on Nick Reid in the final round. Presler got the 3 in the final round.
Controversial.
Yes.
You can't reflect on that.
Yeah, well, if we want to reflect on it, if I had played a bit better, I might have got more votes.
That's probably a surprise. Speaking of Div 3 people that play in that Div and involved with it, they said that Presler is handy, whether he's eye-catching. Umpires obviously think so. But rumour is he didn't even come top 5 in Kilburn's BNF.
No, he didn't.
But I also think as well, when you talk about such, again, on the radio shows, I talk about, and I sound like a broken record, blokes across the lines. They're such an even side, and when you've got so many egos playing in Kilburn's midfield, granted, they are very good players, but they're very egotistic. You know, they're full of egos. And when you got a captain who's such a nice bloke, and he's a nice off field, he is such a well presented, nice person. And when your captain goes up and says, "G'day, blokes," you know, toss of the coin in at quarter time and half time, checks how they're going and how their temperature is. Would you like a drink? I'm not taking anything away from Corey, of course, because he is a good player. I mean,
he's the captain,
and he's a captain, and he's, you know, so when you've got so many eye-catching even midfielders, I think to be a nice bloke, maybe he's winning the award.
From a back pocket, that's an awesome effort.
So well done to all our medal winners. Any one standout game you think, if the people out there at home are watching, I reckon you might say this week Mawson and
Lockleys at Mawson Lakes Hotel Oval. Get down there if you're not doing anything Saturday.
Be a great day, of course, with President Moosey Emery having his birthday yesterday. We hope the boys can get up for you and move on to a preliminary final.
Fingers crossed.
Probably not too much you could say about the game, but you must be excited, Jeff.
Yeah, pretty excited. We've exceeded expectations. We wanted to finish this year, so anything from here on end's a bonus, and who knows, we may get up to Div 5. Who knows? Well,
you've got to be in it to win it, mate. To wish you all the best. Now, Sean, I guess I can ask you, where are you actually going on the weekend to watch your footy? Because you don't have football commitments like Jeff and I do.
I will be at Mawson Lakes Reserve Oval.
Oh, yeah?
With every single piece of Lockleys apparel I can have on. No, in all honesty, I think on our division, I think Mawson Lakes will win. They'll play Trinity the week after, lose. Trinity will play Woody South in the grand final. I think a massive final this week. If I was to actually say to the viewers, if you were sitting home bored to want to watch any amateur, Kilburn Smosh Westlake. If I was to go to any game, I would head out to Div 3. But being heavily involved in Div 6 and knowing that Mawson Lakes will be involved in Div 6 next year and I'll beat them comfortably both times, I thought I'd go watch them just to see what I'm up against. So.
Yeah, cool.
Gentlemen, it is always entertaining to have two great minds of amateur football league here. I really appreciate you joining me and just breaking it up. And Sean came to you. Now, we're going to be at a club next week. I'm not sure which club. And the following week, we're going to be doing this from the Div 1 medal count.
Can I come?
To the Div 1 medal count?
I'd be happy to come in general.
with a drinks package. It might be dangerous. Maybe a few interviews.
I've never come second in my life.
Can we do the red cup?
Dutchie's roast.
We are the Dutch oven. We tried that last Thursday night, didn't we?
That was successful.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to cut Dutchie off. I know Jeff's teetotaling because he's got a big game this weekend. For those of you still in finals, best of luck and we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining in, Readers.
Thank you.
Hey mate, did you hear about that rumour about beer karma?
Beer karma?
You drink one of these and a Victorian cops one.
Oh, really?
They did claim to invent the footy.
That's good.